to probably the most conservative new vehicles on sale today. It's a battle between the mid-size hybrid sedans. We've got the Honda Accord available in just a single trim line in Australia called the RSE HEV versus the base spec Toyota Camry. Now the latest Camry lineup is only available with a hybrid, so they're pretty even, but this is the top spec version, so it's got a few more luxuries than the base spec Camry. The Camry is in front in terms of the specs though. The latest model's got 170 kilowatts from its 2.5 litre 4-cylinder naturally aspirated hybrid matched to a CVT versus a 2-litre 4-cylinder naturally aspirated matched to a CVT in the Honda, 152 kilowatts. And if we look at the weight, the power to weight ratio is in favour of the Camry, about 108 kilowatts per tonne versus about 94 kilowatts per tonne in the Honda. In the Honda though, you do get arguably a more suave design. With the RS pack, you get various black trimmings, including this neat little lip spoiler on the boot. And these rather nice 18-inch alloy wheels, which I like to think that they're inspired by Mercedes AMG wheels. Just because of the inner spoke there, or the inner rim. They are wrapped in e-Primacy Michelin tyres, 235/45s on the Honda, while the Toyota has to make do with narrower tyres. How do they compare? Let's find out. I've already done the recording. It's about to start bucketing down rain. Like before, I set up the camera on 3 different positions down this private road for the full quarter mile. Then I match it up during the editing so they take off at the exact same point. And then inside I'll show the shot of the full quarter mile as well. But just keep in mind the V-Box results at the end are the best result I got out of both vehicles on the day. The weather is pretty similar on both days. It's quite muggy for the Honda and it was for the Camry as well. Now it's worth keeping in mind that with the Honda, it seems to offer different performance or variable performance depending on the battery level, more so than in the Camry. So with the V-Box results at the end, that's the absolute best I could get out of the Honda, as with the Camry as well. But I just noticed this is a bit more variable. So during the filming, the battery level might be up and down and quite low. That's because I'm running up and down, but it's not a timed run. So the V-Box results at the end are the best results. If you could get them both at their prime and then run them, that would be the ultimate, but due to the filming I've got to do, some of the battery level does deplete after a few runs. Let's see how they go. There we go, I'm just jumping in out of the rain. Unsurprisingly, the Camry gets there in the end. It does have more power and a better power to weight ratio, and it was a little bit unfair because it's a base model Camry. But I kind of put that on Honda as well because it doesn't offer a base model version of the Accord in Australia. This is the only one you can get. So the prices don't really match up. I think you're getting better value with the Camry, but the sleek design and the more refined interior experience, arguably, in the Honda pushes the price up a little bit more. What would I prefer out of these two? Well, if I was after just a very practical, economical runaround, I'd go with the Camry. The starting price is around $40,000. This is $64,900 or something like that drive away, so $65,000 drive away. For that, you can get a very high spec Camry and have some change left over. So I think on price alone, the Camry wins, but if you're after something a bit more refined, a bit more sophisticated, then the Honda is a nice product as well. Similar interior space, similar features as well. I think the interior is nicer to look at. Just some of the practicality around the place. It's very sort of square and natural, whereas the Camry goes for a more futuristic design theme with its dash and all of that. You do get a bit more headroom in the back in the Camry compared with this, because this is the top spec, as I said. So it does come with a sunroof, which does close in on the ceiling height a little bit, and it does affect the rear seat space. You do have heaps of legroom in the back though, probably, or it might even be more than in the Camry, but yeah, you've got to worry about the headroom. As for the driving experience, well, it's really hard because the latest Camry, and I'm being genuine here, if you take one for a drive, you'll see what I mean. Just take a base model for a drive. It actually handles and steers really nicely. It's engaging through the steering wheel as well, which you would not expect from a base model Camry. The Honda, you kind of expect it to be a nice handling vehicle, and it is a nice handling vehicle. It's got good suspension, multi-link, or both of them have multi-link at the back. They're quite large sedans after all. I think the Honda does handle a little bit better though, as you'd expect. Does, you know, seem to have a bit more of a wider stance, wider tyres probably as well compared with the Camry. And it does have Michelin tyres on it as well, at least spec for spec. So I'm comparing a base model Camry versus the top spec Accord. It would be interesting to actually compare the top spec Camry as well, because being a little bit heavier, it would be a little bit slower, I suspect, and the power to weight ratios might actually even up a little bit. But let me know what you think. What would you pick out of these two if the price was the same, or say you had the same price for both the top spec Camry and this RS spec Accord? Thanks for watching.